live at Crown Industrial Park. And you know if I'm coming down here, I'm on special location. It's a dope-ass interview coming up. And none other, one of the dopest artists that I've seen. I'm probably going to purchase some art after this interview because she is doing some amazing things all across the world and in Baltimore. The next voice you'll hear is Miss Emma Childs, the artist from Baltimore.
When you give to United Way, your gift could be the first spark of something bigger. It can help provide nutritious food for a family in need. Because eating healthy shouldn't be a luxury. It can help someone with housing challenges and be a catalyst for a new beginning. Because a safe space to call home is the foundation for building a better future. Give today. Spark something bigger.
Welcome to the NoPixAfterDark podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Dante. We are live and direct in Baltimore, enjoying ourselves, having some libations, but more importantly, we're here to talk to Miss Emma Childs. How are you?
Hi, Aaron. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate you taking time. This has been in the working for like 6 months?
Something like that, yeah.
It's been a while.
But, you know, our timing is good because I just moved into this new space, so I'm excited for you to see it, excited to have you here. And I'm excited to talk to you.
Folks, if you could look at this spot is ridiculous. I mean, it's amazing. The art on the wall. Oh, man, I feel like I'm in the Brooklyn Museum of Art right now.
Thank you.
Dope. It's a lot of dope stuff going on. So, big-time artists in the city. That's what I think in my mind. Everybody I told who I'm doing this interview with, they're like, we can't wait to hear this interview. Because she's doing so many cool things in the city, outside the city. We'll talk about Amazon. We'll talk about all that good stuff, okay? We'll get to it. Let's talk a little bit about you so we kind of know a little bit more about you. Are you from Maryland originally?
I am. I grew up in northern Baltimore County, Moncton, Maryland, which is probably about 40 minutes north of here. It's kind of horse country. I went to elementary and middle school out there at St. James Academy. And then I went to high school also in Baltimore County, but in Owings Mills to Garrison Forest. So I'm from the area. And then I went to Maryland Institute College of Art for undergrad. So I'm very familiar with the Baltimore area.
Nice. Little known fact, my sister went to Garrison Forest.
No way. We have talked
we
about
talked
that.
A little bit. Yeah. She went different times, but she calls her, I'm a Garrison girl.
Yes.
That's what she calls herself. So I understand. So take us back to when you were growing up, were there any artists in your family?
My grandmother was an art teacher.
Okay.
But other than that, not really. My dad's an architect and my mom is a therapist. Mm-hmm. And I actually, as I've been working, I see, and I can talk about this more later, but I kind of see the culmination of both of them in my work. But I am the only artist that does, like, a traditional artist in my family. But I think my family is creative and they're also entrepreneurs. They both work for themselves. So I guess it comes naturally, but it's not, I don't come from a line of artists, no.
Gotcha. So when did you start picking up the paintbrush or, like the pen and just like really feeling?
There's pictures of me when I don't think I can even talk yet, painting and drawing. So I've always loved to create art and I've always loved drawing and painting and making things. But for as long as I can remember, art was always my favorite subject. And then in high school, I kind of was approached by the director of the art program at Garrison, and she sort of introduced me to the idea of going to college for it. And it doesn't just have to be your favorite subject. Like, I was spending my frees doing painting projects. And she was like, you can specialize in this and do something that you love and kind of follow that path.
That's pretty dope. I mean, like, so I took this art class in high school called Batik. And it was like you put like a wax pen and you put the wax and it burns the wax and it does an outline
Ooh, cool.
of the drawing.
Yeah.
And then you put the colors inside of it. And it's like on this.
Like a resist process
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. I was,
cool.
So the running joke in high school was I took Batik 101, Batik 102. Because that was my class.
You're a pro.
I was a pro at
You're
it.
a
You
pro.
know? So I love art. I was, back in the day, my mom was a great artist. And I thought I was an artist too. Then I realized I went to an art show. I was like, I'm not really an artist. And I was like, yeah, I'm not there. So when did you, like in high school or middle school, you're like, yo, were you entering any award ceremonies, like any contests like that?
I did a program in high school with the National Gallery of Art where I went there every Saturday and we learned all kinds of different things. And then I had to create a work. I created a painting for it. I'm thinking it was a long time ago, it feels like now, so I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what my project was. But I ended up doing a talk there at the end of it, and that was kind of like, and then I did get a couple awards in high school for art. I'm not going to recall them right now, but
all good.
That was all kind of spearheaded by that teacher. She was kind of like always pointing me in the direction of this is what you should do next, this is what you should do next. And she ultimately pushed me to apply to MICA and a couple other art schools too.
So did you think that's what you wanted to do? Like in school, did you want to be an architect like your dad? Did you want to be like your mom? Like, was art always in the back, like I can see it, but I don't know if I really want to do this.
I never really felt pressured from myself or anyone else to say what I wanted to be when I grew up. It never felt like something that I needed to, it always felt like something I would feel out, and I always just kind of did what I enjoyed doing. And then once I was presented, I had to choose where to go to college. Like I had to choose what I was doing next in that situation. And so that's when I was like, okay, like this, I applied to MICA, I got in, and I still wasn't totally sure what I wanted out of a college experience. So I actually went to College of Charleston for a year. Which was quite
Charleston.
lovely.
I mean, Charleston's lovely.
Yeah,
that
it
may
was
be
lovely.
my number two favorite city in the United States.
Yeah.
Number one is Baltimore.
Obviously, yes.
But Charleston, the food, the culture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't regret that at all. I had a wonderful time and I made friends. And then I kind of like woke up my sophomore year and was like, I kind of want to work really hard at this and I want to be challenged in a way that I'm not going to be challenged here. So I reached out to MICA and they let me, I didn't even have to reapply. I went right back in and I started there halfway through my sophomore year. And I'm really happy I did that because I learned so much. But I'm happy I got both experiences, honestly.
You definitely, I think every experience shapes the person.
Right.
It shapes who you are. Some of your style may be from the Southern styles. You can bring it up north. And whatever you see, you might see other artists doing something like, oh, it's pretty cool. I like that style also. Maybe I can blur, were there any cool artists down there that you remember that influenced you down there than while you were down there in South Charleston?
Aaron, I was more focused on eating and having fun down there.
Facts.
But I love that city. The architecture is really inspiring down there. And I mean, it's a beautiful place. So, I mean, beautiful things are inspiring in themselves. So we can give it that credit.
Charleston, South Carolina, you need to have me have a show down there because I'm too talking about it now. But I understand. So you came back here to MICA, and was that a decision where it was kind of like you want to be close to family again?
It was really about,
or education-wise, you wanted.
It was really about education-wise.
Okay.
I think I like got it out of my system. I went and I eased into the college experience down there, and I sort of had my year away, and I really wanted to. I came back and was really motivated to work hard, and to be able to work hard at and learn about something that I'm passionate about. I feel like that's a privilege. And so it was really inspiring to start at MICA, and I felt really lucky to be there. And that was the first time I really felt that in an education environment. And yeah, I mean, I would definitely not be doing, I don't know what I would be doing right now if I didn't end up there. I would probably be doing art, but I don't know what it would look like.
And I've talked to a lot of different MICA people who've gone to school there for grad school, all that good stuff, and undergrad. Did they teach you a little bit about economics of art, like the background of like art. Did you learn a little bit about that?
They did. There was a professional practices class, which was helpful. They took us around the city. We learned about like kind of like grant writing, that kind of stuff. I learned the most, honestly, about doing this as a career from Katie Pumphrey, who you have interviewed before. Yeah. She's a friend of the pod.
Yeah, shout out Katie.
I was her intern my senior year at MICA, and that's how we became friends. And she actually, it showed me this whole space. This is where I was an intern. And she showed me actually what it looks like to be a full-time artist, because that's what she's been doing for the past, I want to say, like 7 years.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. You can fact check me on that. But she was really inspiring to me, and she still is an amazing mentor to me. And that was honestly probably the most educational, like, professional practice experience that I've had. And I mean, it continues to be helpful, and we help each other, and that's been a really cool thing.
So when did you, like, you're getting through MICA, you got mentorship from Katie Pumphrey. When did you realize, like this is what I want to do as a career? This is what I want. Like, you know, you're gone through college, you're seeing it, you're like, I got to hustle, I got to put out art. When did you realize, like, this is what I'm going to do this thing?
I'm pretty good at being step by step with my life. I don't know if that makes sense coming out of my mouth, but like I graduated and I was like, okay, I need to get a studio now. So I found a studio. I subletted part of a studio and just immediately started making work and putting my work out there, and kind of not like fake it till you make it, but kind of, yeah, like acted like I'd been there before, and just sort of started submitting my work to shows. I started getting shows, publications, things like that, and kind of acting like I was supposed to be there, and it just kind of worked out. But I also started with a part-time job. I was doing display windows at Anthropology a couple times a week. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you got somebody got paid for the beautiful place and whatnot. So when we come back, we're going to talk about that moment when she was like, yeah, and that first sale of like, wow, okay, I'm here, I've arrived, and you're still arriving, and you're in this space. And when you got invited to those art shows, you're like, oh, okay. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about that, talk about Amazon. We're going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about, we can talk about the show that's coming out very soon that it'll be aired after this, but things that you got going on in Baltimore, because you got some hot stuff that we will need to know about.
Thanks, Aaron.
We're right back out with some messages, folks.
Are you or someone you love in need of mental health support? For All Seasons is now offering same-day therapy appointments with no wait list. Through the For All Seasons Open Access program, you can walk in for mental health services and begin therapy in the same visit. For All Seasons accepts all insurances and provides financial assistance if you need it. For therapy, psychiatry, or victim support, we have appointments available today. Call For All Seasons 410-822-1018.
Hi, my name is Catherine Womack. I'm a former strategic intelligence officer with the U.S. Navy. I spent the last couple of years at U.S. Cybercom and transitioned from active duty after 15 years into small business ownership. I own and operate a digital marketing agency in the state of Maryland. So a lot of people approach me thinking that digital marketing is simply social media management, or maybe doing Google ads or Facebook ads, things like that. But what digital marketing really is an umbrella term for a multitude of tactics to get small businesses found by the people who need them. I personally specialize in search engine optimization, website development with conversion architecture in mind. And what that really means is the people are going to your website and doing the thing you need them to do, and oftentimes it's requesting a quote, an appraisal, things like that. So there's definitely a psychology to website development, and we lean really heavy into the psychology of sales to get people to do the things you need them to do. A lot of times as a business owner, you haven't had the time to think about what your needs really are, what your challenges truly are, the sources of those challenges. I can guarantee you in most cases, it's not simply that you need an ads campaign, and that's where I can add value to your marketing strategy.
And folks, we are back with artist Emma Childs. This has been a great discussion. We're learning about her upbringing, coming up in the art game, and we can do a little cheers before we get into it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Definitely. So, it's refreshing for all those that are listening. But let's talk about the moment when you were like, damn, I got something. Like that first piece that you were like, somebody was like, we want to buy it. Like that was that moment when you're like, oh shit, I'm here.
Okay, I've actually never told this story before.
Exclusive, like DJ Clue if you were an 80s, 90s kid.
Yes. On my thesis at MICA, you have like your final critique, which a couple professors come in and a critique is where they talk about your work freely as if you're not in the room, basically. So you have to be good at taking criticism naturally, and so they can be a little nerve-wracking. But I had an amazing critique, and I was recording it on my phone so that and they knew that, so that I could listen back to it later, because you're so nervous in the moment, you're not really like taking anything in. And I left my phone recording, and at the end of the critique, I walked out of the room, and they were still in there. And at the end of the recording, they're saying, wow, like she's really got it, like she's set. I don't worry about her at all. She's gonna be huge. And I was like, okay, that's a good note to end on.
Wow. And they didn't know the camera was rolling.
No.
Did they know about it? Did they ever know about that?
I mean, they know they said it. They know that my phone was recording, so I mean, I don't think they have anything against me hearing it, but it was nice to hear like after.
How does that feel that your professors are like that you?
It felt really good, because I mean, transferring into MICA, I definitely was never the most talented in the room. It's such an incredible place with really, really talented people. And I liked the fact that I was not the most talented in the room or the most creative ever at any given moment. But that can also bring in a little anxiety and a little bit of like imposter syndrome. Like, should I be here or not? And that was definitely some reassurance that I needed in that moment. And it kind of like set me for graduation on a really good note where I felt confident, or at least that I could present confidence in a way that I hadn't before.
I think we all feel a little part of imposter syndrome. You know, you don't really know. You're not sure about yourself. You don't know what's the confidence level, and, there's always a changing point. Like, and that's a great part of the story. People who judge you are like, yo, she is good. And that's a good feeling. If that's a good feeling, that's a great feeling. And at that point, you're like, let's make magic happen.
Right. And I love that people connect with my work. And like the longer I have been doing this, the more people have had the opportunity to connect with my work. And it doesn't really get old to see someone get excited about it, because, I'm just making things that I want to make, and I love that the world receives it well.
Now, what would you say your style is? Tell us about your style.
I would say, if I had to describe it without someone looking at it, I would say it's kind of geometric abstraction, a lot of color field work. I do a lot of shaped canvases is kind of what I'm known for. So canvases that aren't the traditional rectangle or square. But it's kind of hard to categorize abstract painting. So, you could just call it abstract painting too. Okay. Yeah, that's probably the best way I can describe it.
That's a great way to describe it. And folks, I'll be on my IG page. You can go to her IG page and check out her awesome styles and her website. We'll talk about that further on.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the shows, like where have you gone all across the world and things like that. Where have you been going?
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about that.
I've shown a bit in New York. I've shown in London. I've shown kind of all over the United States, in California, Florida, New Orleans, to name a few. They're not all gonna. I work with a gallery in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they've been huge for my career because they are really, really good at pushing my work out there, and they've gotten my work into many, many different. They do a lot of residential work, so a lot of homes, as well as commercial spaces. So, I love my work being enjoyed anywhere, but it's cool to think back on all the places it's gone so far.
That's dope. So, you've traveled, you've been to shows. How did people get behind the sneak peek behind the curtain? How do you get invited to these shows? How does that even happen? Do you submit something or?
You can submit to shows. I go through phases with submit. I mean, when I go through phases where I'm kind of more introverted and I'm making a lot of work, and then I kind of wake up and I'm like, wow, I have a lot of paintings in here. I need to get them out somewhere. And so you can apply to shows. There's a lot of galleries and organizations do open calls. So that's a good way to get your work out there. I mean, Instagram in general is a good way to just keep people like involved in your studio process. So Instagram is definitely huge. And I'm discovered on Instagram probably more than anywhere, any other method.
That makes sense because a lot of people, I think, for me, Instagram is always about that pretty picture that makes you stop and like, oh, what is this? Like with a moment in time where you're like, oh, let me check it out. You know, like I was saying earlier before off camera, I have a lot of people who are like, she has really dope art. A couple people we know common who bought art from you. And they're like, we just love her style. We love what she's doing out here. And, you know, and that's huge. So when you ever get calls and say, hey, we need you here. We need your artwork here. How does that feel? Like when you how does that feel when you get that call and they're like, hey, we want you to come down to, I think I saw you were in Atlanta one time, a couple weeks ago, like a year ago, or not Atlanta, or somewhere down south maybe.
Maybe it was Charlotte.
Maybe,
yeah,
I'm
I just
thinking
had a show in Charlotte earlier this year.
Yeah. It looked like a good ass time
That's at
down there.
Heidelbrooks. Well, shout out Heidelbrooks. I had a show with them. I've had a couple solo shows with them now, and then a couple group shows with them, and they're amazing. They're a woman-run gallery. They've been up and running for over 25 years, and they're just amazing. So, yeah.
So they just call you, say, come on down.
Yep. They pretty much always have me on the schedule at some point, and then I'm always sending them new work too, based on what they need. So they know what their clients like, and we kind of collaborate in that way a lot.
Take us in your mind, like when you get in work grind mode, like do you shut off the world for a little bit and you're just like, I'm focused, I'm in the studio, I'm getting my work done, like I'm trying to get my creative, like where do you get your creative juices from? How does that all happen?
I think making myself come to the studio and at least starting things is where I get my creative juices. There's actually, my favorite quote is my dad's favorite quote. He showed it to me in high school, and it says, whatever you can dream to do or want to do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So simplifying things down into just beginning something kind of takes the pressure off. And so my paintings are done in layers. So I think about that quote a lot because if I don't know what to do with a surface, it's just begin it, add one thing, and then the next thing kind of comes. So the work informs itself in that way. And that's kind of where my creative juices flow. Like I'll make a blue shape and then I'm like, oh, I know what that needs next. Like things start to make sense, and then it kind of organically grows on itself in that way.
Now, is there any music you listen to before? Like, is there like a vibe? Like for me, like I listen to 95 hip hop because that was like when Tupac and Biggie, and that was like when the Sorcerer Wars are jumping. Like, if you don't want to be on your producer album, your video, you come to the West Coast. But like that, it just gets me hyped before I do a show. What do you do?
My Spotify is a wild place. It's a wide range of music in there. It'll be like very sad vibes sometimes in here. That'll also be just like Travis Scott on full volume sometimes. It depends on the mood. I'm flexible. I also sometimes will just want to listen to a podcast. Like I want to hear someone else's thoughts and not my own, and just kind of like get lost in that too. So it depends.
Nice. Now, for like I'm looking at a painting behind you right now. I'm looking at a couple different, like how long does that take you to do something like that? Because I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I mean, we'll have video that the producer is shooting and you'll get a little idea of the studio. But like, how long does that take you to do something like that? That one directly behind us.
Directly behind us. I mean, I'm always so I get that question a lot, and I'm always working on multiple at once, so it's really hard to answer.
Okay.
But I can crank out, like I try to finish around 6 good-sized paintings a month. Wow. At least. But it depends. Like I'll be working, like you'll see that pile of wood over there. I'm about to do a grid of small works. You might have seen, I've done those a couple times on my Instagram. So they're 14 by 14 inches each, and they make up kind of one big piece. But it's cool because people can kind of pick and choose and kind of almost create their own work out of these grids. And so that'll be about 30 paintings if you consider each one its own painting. So it's always different. But I mean, I can work really fast. I don't like to work under pressure like that, but I can crank out paintings pretty quickly if I need to.
Because I mean, I'm looking for something for Christmas time. I'm looking for a painting for Christmas time. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Little quick plug, Christmas time. I'm looking for something. Looking all around here. What could fit in my house?
Oh yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Amazon. How did it all happen? I saw it on IG. My producer saw it on IG. The whole world saw it on IG.
Thank you.
What's up with that?
I'm super proud of that project. So I have a series of 5 paintings. They make up one piece called Through Line. It's in the Amazon headquarters in Arlington. They reached out to me about a year and a half ago now. It was about a year of in production. And I couldn't talk about it until it was up in the building. So that was kind of cool to be working on something in secret because I'm used to sharing my process pretty openly online. And so they had a team of art consultants, and they reached out to me and kind of described the concept of the building as a whole. They were interested in having artists that were from the area create work for the space. So yeah, I made some sketches, I proposed my idea, and then I just kind of made it, and then I delivered it, and it was installed, and yeah.
How good does that
cool.
feel like in the Amazon headquarters, Amazon too, whatever it's called, like your stuff's in there? Like that's dope.
Yeah, I'm really proud of that project. I'm really proud to have paintings on that scale in a space like that, so they'll be enjoyed by so many people on a daily basis, and they're in their permanent collection. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now, have you ever done anything for any magazines or anything like that? For any like art or like?
I've been in a couple magazines. Okay. There's a magazine out of London called Art Maze, and that's one of the first publications that my work was included in. I was in New American Paintings, is another really cool magazine. I was in 2021 or 2022. I was in that, and then I was in British Vogue in 2020.
Nice. Do you ever take a moment to take it all in and be like, wow, like do you ever have that moment where like you're like, this is, I can't, like you pinch yourself, you're like, I belong here, but like I always have those moments of like when I'm like, we flew a helicopter last year for the Navy, and I'm like, wow, like how did I even, like I should be here, but like I don't know how I'm here, but we're here. Have you ever had that moment?
Yeah, I do have that moment, especially like right now when we're talking about it, because I mean, I'm not thinking about all that stuff on a daily basis, obviously. I'm kind of like, what's next? Because, you know, we have to pay the bills and what painting's going to sell next and what am I going to make next? And I want my work to keep evolving organically. So I'm not thinking about that stuff very often, but also at the same time, like being in my new space like this, it's kind of a culmination of all those things. And so I feel really lucky and I feel really proud of what I've done so far, for sure.
That's dope. That's dope. What advice would you give to any young artists out there who are coming up, that are ranks, who are like in college right now, they're trying to figure out their way? What advice would you give them that, you know,
I would say to reach out to people who are doing what you want to be doing eventually. 'Cause those people know exactly how they got there. But I mean, art is so different in the way that everyone kind of has their own path. But I think the more information that you can gather from people that are doing things at least similar to what you want to be doing eventually, I think that that's the best way to go and a great starting point on next steps and getting your work out there. I mean, we're lucky to be in an era where we can just post our work. I don't need to wait for someone else to show my work. I can show it myself whenever I want on Instagram. And I mean, I don't think, like, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without being able to have an online presence.
No, I think IG is for artists. I really believe it.
Yeah.
I believe that's what IG was originally for. It was for art. It was for people taking pictures outside. It's not for what it is now. Now it's like a whole different thing. But I feel like it's originally what, and I hope it goes back that way.
Yeah.
Where you see people's art and artists and see what they're doing out there. Because what you're doing out here is amazing, and you're breaking barriers, knocking doors down, and doing some of the things that I'm just very impressed with. And
Thank you.
I'm honored to have you on the show because it's like, getting I was like, I gotta give him the show. I gotta give him the show. So again, it's been 6 months in the making. So I always do a quick speed round with everybody on the show. And I'm not going to let you off the hook on that, okay? Since you're a Baltimore girl, all right, we're going to kick it off with crabs or crab cakes. We got to go in. First question.
Efficiency-wise, crab cakes.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's, who cares? I like
Right.
the social aspect of crabs. That's so fun. That's a party.
Snowballs or ice cream? See?
That's a hard one.
See? Right. See? You got, I mean, egg custard, snowball, or ice cream where you got cookies and cream or whatever you like.
I'm going to say snowball. Snowball
Okay.
with marshmallow.
Oh, yeah, marshmallow.
But
yeah.
it's a really close one.
It's a close one. What's your favorite ice cream flavor then?
Black raspberry.
Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, all right. Yeah, I get
I live
one.
very close to Be More Licks. So.
Oh, yeah, Be More Licks is good.
Yeah.
Shout out if you want me on the show. No. But we think for a Super Bowl halftime show, which one of your favorite Super Bowl halftime shows? If you're
Rihanna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With the baby bump,
Oh, yeah.
exposure.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
The red outfit.
That was dope. That was
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
Chicken wings, flats or drums?
Boneless.
Boneless. Okay, all right. We'll let you slide with that.
Delia Foley's boneless.
Oh, Delia Foley's. Oh, you went old school. That's good wings, actually. I like that place. Branch or blue cheese?
Ranch.
Old Bay or Honey Old Bay?
Ooh. Honey Old Bay.
Yeah, Honey Old Bay.
Yeah.
Where can people find you on your website, IG, TikTok, and all that good stuff?
My Instagram is EMMECHILDS, EmiChilds, because a lot of people call me Emmy, and I made my Instagram back in high school. My website is www.emmachildsart.com.
All right. Are you on TikTok? Are you TikToking? Or are you just a person?
I'm a scroller, but I don't post. I have
Are
a
you
private
the
account.
person scrolling?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like, yeah.
and you told me a little bit before you got nothing going on really 2025, 2024 right now planned yet.
Right, yeah.
But
Yeah.
where can people, if they want to get so they can get a hold of you through IG?
Yeah,
Is that the best
I
way?
post everything I'm up to on Instagram. Yeah. And if anyone wants to visit the studio, if you're local, you're welcome to come view the work in person. And yeah.
I mean, folks, she'll be on Creative Morton's this Friday coming up. This episode will come out afterwards. She's doing some amazing things, big things. Shout out to you for hanging out. Thank you for letting us hang out to this beautiful studio.
Thanks for coming.
This has been an amazing interview. I'm so excited. And what I would love to do is the next show or any event you have, I would interview you before that and talk.
Yeah,
or maybe do a
let's do
Katie
it.
Pumphrey, like we used to do a round
That'd be
table
fun.
of artists and just hang out and just talk. And
Yeah.
drink beers and have a video recorded of it and just talk about life and like art and what do you guys see going next, you know?
Good idea. I'm in.
All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Folks, love, peace.